Welcome back to Fast Fridays on Maconi Entertainment, presented by Maconi Setup Shop. Tonight we hop in some trucks and head over to the now unused Chicagoland Speedway for a return to its glory days in the Xfinity cars. For those of you who haven't joined us before, Fast Fridays is a weekly series by Maconi Setup Shop featuring a varying car and track combination that is completely free to take part in. And yes, I said free to come and race here in the broadcast race. My name is Joey Atterbury, and joining me in the booth is Jake Reeves. Ryan Bauer working the controls is our producer, and camera angles being provided by Dougie Beard. And Jake, for those who aren't familiar with Chicagoland, it's not on the NASCAR schedule anymore, but tell us a little bit more about this place.
Well, Joey, it is very unfortunate that this track is not on the NASCAR schedule because this is actually one of my favorite tracks personally. Mile-and-a-half track up in Joliet, Illinois. Real tough on the tires with basically anything that you're racing, whether that be an Xfinity car, Cup car, truck, what have you. This place will absolutely wear your tires out. A big bump over in turn 3 and 4 these guys is going to have to watch out for because it will knock the car a little bit sideways and kind of get it out of shape. But you really want to keep it on the bottom to try to save your tires, but don't count out some of these guys trying to go to the top and try to make a lot of headway for more speed. But up top, you're going to burn more tires, but on the bottom, you're going to be able to save them.
I agree. I think we're going to see multiple grooves definitely come into effect with the racing. And on the screen right now, you're seeing what the action is going to be. We're here in those Xfinity cars, 65 laps, 45 minutes, no fast repairs. Now, this is going to be over and done with under an hour. So 3 green, white checkered attempts. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get to use them all because of that time limit. And then, of course, that fixed setup provided by the hot shots over at Maconi Setup Shop. So you know the car is going to be hooked up on the racetrack out there. And speaking of Maconi and what's coming up, there's actually a pretty cool new event that Jeff just announced today. It's going to be 500 miles at Indianapolis, also known as 880,000 yards of bricks. Most importantly, it's in that IR01 car. That's the cool, super rad open wheel racer. Going to be going and hitting that square racetrack. If you want to know more, head on over to MaconiSetupShop.com. Event signups, you'll find out more about it. $10 entry fee, and it pays out all the way through the entire entry list if you make the field there. And going to show this a couple more times throughout the broadcast. The easiest way is just scan the QR code. It'll take you straight over to the sign up link. And speaking of the action on the racetrack, Jake, I actually think that we've got our starting grid official, and it's going to be Derek McMurphy on pole position, Ryan Kelly joining him on the front row, Joey Masevich, very familiar name here in 3rd place, Alex Huffman 4th, Stephen Hommel in 5th place, Kevin Ritchie 6th, John Flowers in 7th, Nelson Rivera 8th, Larry Garrett 9th, and Ray Zerka in 10th.
Yep, and then you got Brandon Masesquis. I'm sorry, I probably got that one wrong, but he's in 11th. Shane Ferguson 12th. Michael Diach in 13th. Got Jeffrey Eddy in 14th. Charles Bachman in 15th. And then we got the boss right here, Jeffrey Maconi, right here running in 16th right here. He's got some work to do trying to get up to the field. And then got Liam Urvig in 17th. Christian Visconti in 17th. And as you see the rest of them right there on the leaderboard, a bunch of guys in here in this race right here, Joey. Looks like there's going to be right around the range of about 27 cars that took a time.
Yeah, almost 30 cars out there as we scroll through the rest of the grid. And the other thing is that pretty big difference in iRating throughout all of these competitors out here. In fact, I'm seeing lowest iRating is in maybe the 400s, maybe 481, and then The highest out here, I'm seeing, what is this, 6,000, maybe 5,000 plus out here. So quite a big gap in terms of skill level on the racetrack as we take a look at the air temperature. Nice evening to go racing, 64 degrees, 66 on the track. Jake, that means these cars are going to be doing like track record type speeds out there.
Yeah, and they're going to be hauling the mail, and you're exactly right. With that low track temp, it's going to be really, really fast. And with these guys being able to be in these packs, they're going to be going even faster in the drafts. So very, very, very fast speeds we're fixing to see right here at Chicagoland and on Maconi Entertainment. And hopefully, you know, some of these guys will be able to hold on to these cars and be able to get them around the track. So. And to take your point on the strength of field, basically, that we're looking at, yeah, there's a lot of guys in here that I've seen and I have raced with in the Xfinity cars, like Steven Aguiar, who's back in the back as well. So don't count him out as well, because he is one of the faster guys that's in the Xfinity cars.
Well, before we get going, just want to say thank you to Maconi Setup Shop and Maconi Entertainment. Head on over to that website, www.maconisetupshop.com, the home for setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, event promotion, and more on the iRacing service. Jeff does it all. And here we go. We got the pace car taking the hard left onto pit lane, and we are green flag at Chicagoland Speedway for Fast Fridays. Already seeing a car move to the high side with an excellent jump, but it's side by side between Derek McMurphy and Ryan Kelly out front.
Yeah, and Derek McMurphy and Ryan Kelly are sitting there just rolling at it right here as you're seeing it on your screen coming at you in turn 3. Ryan Kelly going to have it stuck up on the top, make that top lane work. McMurphy's going to get sideways and, head on into the wall. Big wreck coming off of turn 4. A bunch of guys getting took out right here.
We have a giant one. That is not the big one. That is pretty much everybody in the field. That all started with the 48 of Derek McMurphy. I'm sorry, I mispronounced his name. Yeah, at first there. And Derek, you'll see here, he's just going to get loose on cold tires down here on the low side of the racetrack, snap it up top, and Jake, he just pinballs back in front of traffic, and being the first lap, literally the entire field comes in.
Yeah, every single one of them just comes in, and it's very unfortunate for everybody that gets caught up in this, but you called it right there, Joey. I mean, you see him coming off of turn 2 right here as you're riding on board with Masevich right here. He just loses it right there on that bottom, but looks like he kind of got on that seam a little bit. That's something else to call out for these tracks, or for this track in particular, is there's multiple seams at this track that is very, very hard to be able to maneuver the car on these seams. It'll get you loose and possibly get you tight, but about every single time it'll get you real loose. As you're sitting right here watching the 91, he was sitting there riding the same as well and got loose, and very unfortunate. Big air time for him. Looked like a skateboard at the X Games, but very unfortunate for some of these guys getting caught up in this wreck, Joey.
And I'm trying to pick out maybe a car that's further in the back here, maybe that we can ride along with, that sees kind of this whole thing unfold. I don't know. I think we could probably pick a number and figure out what's going on. And pace cars right now on the back straightaway. Looks like the lights are still on the pace car, so we will be going back. One more to go. And Jake, did you catch that one from Christian's point of view?
Yeah, he got a wake-up call right there. That is very, very scary scene. Even on the iRacing simulation, to see that right there just come right at you. I mean, you got nowhere to go. Your best bet is just to go to the bottom and just go as low as you possibly can to try to get around it and try to be out of harm's way. I mean, even at that point, I'm surprised I didn't see some of the guys just say screw it and just dump it straight down to the pit road and just get a speeding penalty just to try to miss it right there. But that right there will, I'm sure right now Christian is pretty much woke up right now from seeing that right there.
And just to let everybody know, I think what's happening on the racetrack right now is we've got some admins that are in the session, and I noticed there's no fast repair that's available here, and typically that's something that is plugged into Fast Fridays to make sure that everybody gets out there and does laps on the racetrack. But I think with this early wreck and so many people affected, the admins are allowing some yellow flag time so that way people can come down and get some of that damage fixed without going a lap down out here. And I think there's two folds to this right here, is that natural selection says, you know what, you wrecked, you should be out of the race. However, it's not everybody's fault that they were involved in that one. You know, it was definitely a single car incident that pretty much the whole field was collected in.
Yeah, and it wasn't nothing, obviously nothing intentional that happened right there. I mean, you know, McMurtry was just caught on that seam and just looked like he just snapped. I mean, it's very, very common to see that here. So obviously it's nothing intentional that anybody did in any case, but it's just one of them. It's just one of them racing things that just happens, Joey. I mean, this track is wide, but when you got that much going on at one time and you got cars going left and right and everybody kind of gets just caught up in it, I mean, you really ain't got nowhere to go. So I applaud the admin for trying to give these guys a little bit of a break and trying to help them out with the damage.
I do too, you know, and Fast Fridays is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be something that you come in here, you enjoy participating in, and you want to come back, and you don't want to spend the entire race under yellow flag conditions or driving around with a damaged race car. So, no, I agree with you, Jake. I think what they're doing is smarting, is letting everybody get those cars fixed back up. So, hey, we can go back green flag racing, and everybody gets to have the fun that they expected when they clicked that join button. And speaking of, we got the lights out on the pace car. Ryan Kelly is going to be leading us back to the green flag, and we're going to be going single file restart this time to maybe clean up a few of those potential incidents that might crop up here in the future. And here we go. Barney the flagman says, let's get them engines going again. Green flag at Chicagoland.
Yep, and with this single file restart right here, Ryan Kelly looks like he's just going to completely take off from what it looks like he has completely left Alex Huffman right here, and Kevin Ritchie just absolutely pulling away from these guys. I mean, unbelievable restart right here by Ryan Kelly, just absolutely pulling away from this field.
Yeah, you called it. Our leader in that number 13 car doing a great job as we focus a little bit further back in the pack. This is Leon Keniston here in the 933. Right in front of him is Joey Beck, and we're seeing a few of these different grooves coming into play here, Jake. And you talked about it pre-race that most of the time you want to be down on that white line here at Chicago. However, this racetrack does have those grooves, so you got to be careful where you put those loaded tires.
Yeah, and you got to be careful not to put them on the seams, or you'll be in the same situation that we had. Yes, I mean, you don't want to be on those seams like of what happened earlier in this race. So as you see, wow, we got one in the wall. Looks like that's going to be the 22 of Nelson Riviera. Looks like he kind of got a little bit of help right there going into turn one, Joey.
Yeah, he certainly did. I believe that was the number 24. Can't really say below him. It was more behind him. I think he just kind of gets into the back bumper going into turn one. You see him showing the nose down here going into one, and I think just a little bit of a miscalculation. Doesn't get underneath the 22 of Rivera here, and as you see, it just kind of runs him over, if you ask me.
Yeah, that kind of looks like a ARCA brake kind of deal right there. I mean, yeah, I mean, you see him going in right here in the 24, just, I mean, yeah, he just gets him right in the back bumper. And I mean, that's one thing about these Fast Fridays right here, Joey, is some of these guys right here, they don't normally race against some of these other guys. I mean, if you were in, say, like a B fixed, or excuse me, a B open race that runs for iRacing for official races, most of the time you're in there with guys that you know kind of tendencies of what they're doing. And in this instance right here, you know, I don't think Joey knew what Nelson was going to do at that particular point in time. But very unfortunate to see that, as you're going to ride on board right here with the boss man, Jeffrey Maconi, get his point of view as he goes in right here and he sees what happens. And whoa! Oh, wow. Unbelievable. I guarantee you he got woke up that time. So big time save right there for Jeffrey Maconi to be able to slide right past that.
Agree 100%. Jeff Maconi squeaking away from death. I think he's still trying to get his car fixed up. You see the damage on the right side of that machine, but that was not from the most recent yellow. I think it was actually from that first yellow being caught up in the big one, if you will. And I wonder, you know, if we have more yellow flag time, I wonder if we can actually pull Jeff Maconi into the booth here, see if he'd be okay with a yellow flag interview. I know that he's got his hands full. Jeff Maconi, you're joining us inside the commentary booth. Now, pre-race, we talked about a big event that you just announced, going to the 880,000 yards of bricks. Jeff, are you pumped about that one?
You know, I just hope it goes a lot better than this is going so far, because I got clobbered in the first caution. I just barely got clipped there, so I'm hoping it all goes better. But yes, I am very, very excited.
Now, Jeff, did you actually get clipped on that last wreck there? Because we saw it was incredibly close, but I couldn't tell if there was actually contact or not.
I think it might have been a little bit of net code, because I felt the car shake and my right rear is destroyed. So I'm just going to send it. They didn't take tires up in front of me, so I'm just going to drive the heck out of it. I think that's my plan.
Well, you know what? Maybe we'll do a little onboard action right on board you. Good luck here on this restart, Jeff.
Thank you so much. Check out the brand new, I'm pointing to it, light box thing with my name on it. I got that. I'll check the name and everything during the next caution of the guy that sold it to me, but it was off Facebook. It was like, I forget how much it was, but it was well worth it. Awesome stuff. Highly recommend it. If you see it come up on Facebook, give the guy a shout.
Well, let's get ready for this restart here. We're lined up side by side. This time, Alex Huffman in the number 2, Kevin Ritchie up front. And like Jeff was saying, a little bit of an alternating strategy. Looks like the top 7 cars did not come down pit road at all so far this race. And here we go up through the gears. Alex Huffman gets a fantastic jump on the bottom line here. He's actually going to tow up John Flowers in that red car into second place as he goes side by side with Kevin Ritchie. You also have Brandon in the number 93 coming on the top side as well.
Yeah, and that 93, and looks like, yeah, I mean, they're going to roll right there on that top lane, as you're seeing right here. And that, like I said earlier, Joey, that top line, it is very, very fast, but you're going to burn your tires up so fast right there. But these guys, you know, some of them that stayed out, we got one wrecking and going across the, right here at the trial. Well, looks like it's going to be the 29, Jordan Higgins, but we stayed green. But yeah, I mean, that top line for some of these guys, they're using it right here way early, and they didn't pit. But I like to call staying out a little bit early, try to get that extra little bit of track position, and try to see if they can be up front and try to stay away from some of the madness in the back.
Oh, well, I think the boss already told Jeff Maconi that the right side of the car is tossed out and thrown away, because he just used some more of it on that turn 4 wall. And I'm happy that our producer, the Bearded Sim Racer, and I are kind of...
We got one wrecking in the back. Yeah, we got one wrecking in the back. It's going to be the 7 car of Kowser. He just looks like he kind of just got loose and spun it out right there. Joey, sorry to cut you off right there, but yeah, we're going to see it right here on the replay. And don't know if he got any help. Looks like he might have got a little bit of help right there, Joey.
It's 2 number 7 cars, and it's Hewlin Kowser on timing and scoring number 7 getting hit by a different number 7 car out there. It's almost like we're in Vegas playing the slot machines.
Yeah, a lot of number 7s out there, and 7 would be the lucky number, but not in this instance. I mean, looks like, you know, Hewlin Kowser just kind of got a little love tap, got spun around, and we've seen that already happen earlier in the race. That brought out the second caution that came out. So, like I said earlier, some of these guys, you know, they're not used to running with some of these other guys and learning where their lifting points is. So maybe that's got a little bit to do with it, or maybe it's a little bit of over aggressiveness and impatience out there.
I think both. I think, you know, that one wasn't very malicious. I didn't really see him just kind of like run him over going into the corner. I saw that was a little bit more difference in maybe rolling speeds in the middle of 1 and 2 or 3 and 4 there, and not quite as egregious as we've seen before. And in fact, I'm seeing in the chat here, it looks like Joshua Fireball Colbreth, who was the car that went up and made that contact, said sorry out there in the chat. So I think he realized that was definitely his bad in that car and raised his hand and apologized. And just like that, we're actually getting ready to go back racing one more time. And one thing I'm noticing here is that we're not getting very many green flag laps per minute going on. So I wonder if this is going to be turned into a timed race versus a lapped race. And the other thing is the attrition. The attrition out there is pretty heavy. I'm noticing only got 19 cars now on the lead lap, Jake. We started out there with over 30.
Yeah, we had a lot of them out there, but a bunch of them that I'm looking right here at the leaderboard, there's a good chunk of them that got caught up in that first wreck, Joey. So, you know, we'll see what happens. I mean, the lesser of the field, you know, probably the cleaner of the race that we're probably going to get.
Agreed. And ooh, look at another jump here from our leader, Alex Huffman. Great restart as he goes up through the gears. The 93 and the 94 sorting it out side by side behind him. Oh, we got some contact with the car. That's the 933 of Leon Keniston going up into the wall. And just like that, we got another yellow flag on the racetrack.
Yeah, and it looks like Joshua Frank's got a little bit of a piece of it as well, the 16 car. So a lot of impatience, like I said a minute ago, Joey. I mean, it just seems like these guys are wanting to try to hurry up and get to the front as fast as they possibly can. But they got to be able to see. Oh, wow. Yeah, it looks like he kind of tried to make a hole that wasn't there. There was somebody right there in front of him. But yeah, I mean, just a lot of impatience right now, Joey. That's what it's looking like to me, is everybody's just trying to hurry up and get to the front and not just letting the race play out and just letting everything come out in their favor. Everybody's just trying to hurry up and go.
Well, and we're going to get everything going back out on the racetrack here in just a little bit. I know that, like I said, there are admins here in the racing session. So when we do have these repeated yellow flags on the racetrack, they try to get them back going racing as quick as they can out there. And there are a few exceptions to that. It's nice to have the admins in the session, like we were talking about earlier, when the first lap, you know, you get pretty much the entire field involved into a wreck. It's nice to be able to extend that to give people a little bit of a lifeline, you know, to go out there and get their cars fixed and go back racing again. And then in the case of more yellow flags later in the race, it's nice to have the admins in the session to be able to quicken up these yellow flag sessions, as we already see the lights are out on the pace car, Jake. So I gotta give props to the Maconi Entertainment staff, and really it's the Maconi Competitive Zone staff, keeping the event on track.
Yeah, they're trying to keep it on track. I mean, you know, we talked about it earlier with the various strengths field, or the various I ratings that we got in here. But you know, good call to the admin and good call to everybody that's putting this race on to be able to just try to keep everything just kind of moving along. You know, just try to go ahead and get everything kind of smoothly carried out, try to get it all going. But they can't control everybody that's racing in the race, Joey. So they can't control them, but they're trying to control the race as best they can.
Definitely, and I know we're going to be going back to green flag here. We're going to catch the restart with Alex Huffman getting going. He's traditionally got a very good launch here. The 93 of Brandon Majewski right behind him. I know I am mispronouncing that. Masajewski, maybe. in the number 93, followed by Kevin Ritchie and Jeff Maconi in that beaten and battered 03 car, but he's doing a great job on the freshest tires of that front five. Got the 36 of Todd Robbins right behind him. And look at this, Jake. I think we actually might get a full lap here of green flag racing.
And the fans at home and the fans here at the virtual Chicagoland Speedway are tickled to death to see this right here happen. And, you know, with that single file restart, that's going to help everybody just kind of try to get spread out a little bit. And that's what everybody kind of wanting to see. I mean, but, you know, huge shout out right here to Jeffrey Maconi. I know he's our boss, but big shout out to him right here. Looks like he's up 12 positions from where he started at on the leaderboard. So big deal for him to be able to move it up through there, especially with a car that looks like he just got run through a meat grinder.
Yeah, no, he's doing a really good job. And I mentioned he's on the freshest tires of the front bunch here. And I think that's might be what's helping him out. And I know also from covering a little bit more of the circle track stuff that the aerodynamic package on these cars really is the front of the car. So as long as the front of the car is all right, the back of the car can kind of be doing whatever back there. I'm not saying it's ideal, but you can definitely get away with it. The majority of the damage on Jeff's car is on the back side as we look at the number 24. This is Joey Beck, involved in one of those a little bit earlier, trying to work his way up again. Got Jacob Cannon right in front of him.
Yeah, and he's going to try to work this bottom side right here. Looks like, you know, Jacob Cannon is trying to run that middle lane. Got to watch out for those seams, because we've seen what will happen on them seams going all the way to the bottom right here to try to move up the position. And this place is something else that we should have said earlier, is that white line, they can go below that to advance their position. They can use that bottom, or excuse me, use the apron to be able to maneuver or try to pass or whatever. This is not like a Daytona, Talladega, or Atlanta Super Speedway. These guys can go basically wherever they want to on the track and be able to try to advance their position without having to worry about getting black flags. So good move right there to be able to try to go all the way down to the apron and make that pass.
Now, I know that Joey Beck was involved in one of the incidents earlier, but I want to say good job right now to the 24, because I think there's actually a pretty big speed difference between him and the cars he's racing, as you see right now. Just going to drive right down low to the inside of Jacob Cannon and say, see you later, because that number 24 has significantly better tires on. And I think what we saw right there is he got his nose dirty earlier in the race, and he was just being very respectful out there, making sure not to cause another yellow flag, which is exactly the type of racing that we love to see here on Maconi Entertainment Fast Friday. No matter what event we cover, we love to see the racing happen on the racetrack.
Yeah, we love to see this intense racing. As you see right here, looking to possibly go 3 wide there for a second. I mean, absolutely crazy racing right there. That was Shannon Boswell. Looked like he was going to try to stick it in the middle, but thought better of it. But yeah, Joey, I agree with you 100%. We love seeing this hard green flag racing. Wow. Very close move right there. Shannon trying to let that other 7 car let him know that, hey, I'm here. I'm trying to get around you. So a lot of hard racing, a lot of good, clean racing right now. This is awesome to watch, Joey.
Yeah, they were actually 3 wide because he's got a car just to the outside of him as we jump to the front pack. And actually nothing's changed up here other than Jeff Maconi having a car look down to his inside or just behind him, trying to fend him off. And here comes that 24 of Joey Beck. We were talking about the new tires, and look at them. It is paying off right now. Talk about the fastest car on the racetrack. This number 24 that we're riding on board with right now is the only car turning lap times in the 30-second bracket. Everyone else in the 31s.
Yeah, 30 seconds moving around here, especially with the amount of laps that they've been able to put out there on green flag laps. So, you know, Jeff, you know, he's on those fresher tires as well, but I think that damage is kind of starting to hurt him a little bit. But going back to what you was talking about earlier, Joey, about the front of the car. You know, these cars, these Xfinity cars, are much like the trucks as well. As long as you don't have any horsepower downage, I guess you could say, you're going to be able to have enough horsepower and have enough power to be able to roll. Doesn't really matter what happens on the back. I mean, that's just going to be aero that's going to make you loose, make you tight, or what have you. But you don't want anything to happen to the front of the car, because if you do, that's going to be real bad for your power and real bad for the RPMs, and it's going to make you a lot slower. So, you know, Jeff's holding on. He's doing all he can right now with what he's got, and it seems like he's doing pretty good. But going back to Joey Beck, he is rolling up through the field right now.
He is, and here comes the 93 of Brandon. I'm not even going to try to say the last name, and I apologize, Brandon. If you can send me a message here on Discord, we can get your last name sorted out. That way we can represent you properly, because you are making a move down to the low side, taking away the second place position from Kevin Ritchie. And Jake, like you were mentioning, here's Joey Beck. This is the car that we've been talking about on the freshest tires of them all. And to put it into perspective, Joey Beck, 16 laps. These cars, he's battling 32 laps. So right now, he literally has half the amount of laps on his tires. And I tell you what, that's just like, it's unfair out there. It's like showing up to the Nerf gun fight, and you've got 2 Nerf guns that are fully stacked with a backpack of darts, and everybody only has 1.
Yeah, that is very, very unfair to your point right there, Joey. But what you got to worry about is with Joey Beck sitting there, he might have had the freshest tires, but hopefully he didn't use them up too much, as you're going to see him try to make a move to that outside. That outside lane, you can make a heck of a run out there on that outside lane as he makes that pass to go past Kevin Ritchie. So move Joey Beck up to third. He is coming to the front, but he's got to be able to watch his tires and make sure he doesn't burn them up too much trying to get to the front.
Speaking of watching his tires, I think the 03 has burned his stuff up as John Flowers here, riding on board, slips underneath the 3 into turn 1. Jeff doing a really good job fighting back on the top side of the racetrack. And just like you were saying, you can get some tremendous runs up there, but I feel like the 03, his advantage was those tires, and now that those tires have kind of plateaued a little bit, you're seeing the damage unfortunately come into play, and he's starting to fall back just a little bit. But I tell you what, the lead battle between these 3, Alex Huffman, Brandon in the 93, and Joey Beck here in the 24, the race is on with 31 laps to go.
Yeah, it is absolutely on, and pretty much just basically like the Kentucky Derby right here. Pick your horse, pretty much. I mean, that's what it's looking like. Brandon's going to look like he's going to try to make a move to the top. Looks like he's going to try to get that top run, see if he can get Huffman right here going into turn 1. Beck's going to stay on the bottom, and looks like he's going to, or maybe try to go 3 wide, maybe, but no, he's going to take that top lane and make that tremendous run that we was talking about. Take Brandon up to front. Looks like Huffman and Joey Beck going to battle it out for second. Real tight going into turn 3. Looked like Huffman was trying to get a little bit of side draft right there on Joey Beck. So great battle for the lead right here, and this is awesome to watch with these 3 guys. I mean, they're separating themselves from the field right now.
And I think a little bit of both lines being played by the 93, our new leader out front. Very smart and savvy racing here in the sim to try to tow along whichever competitor can kind of keep them side by side. But I tell you what, the run that Joey Beck just got out of turn number 2 sucked him right up to the back bumper of our leader. And I have a feeling it's only a matter of time before these fresh Goodyear tires come into play. And I know that they're not fresh anymore, but they are much fresher than our leader. And we've seen this top side lane through 1 and 2 result in tremendous runs down the back straightaway. Here he goes on our leader. Joey Beck looking down the inside of turns number 3 and 4. Looks like he's going to clear the 93 before we even exit turn 4.
Yeah, he absolutely power move is what I would call that right there, Joey. Absolute power move by Joey Beck. it's funny, I'm sitting here with Joey, you, and Joey, the one that's racing. It's funny to go back and forth between the Joeys right here and not get crossed up. But yeah, Joey Beck, absolutely power move right there. But you got to watch him a little bit right here. Brandon might have just kind of let him go or something. I don't know. I mean, he's staying right there with him. He's not really, or Joey's not really pulling away from Brandon. Brandon's staying right there with him. So I don't know. I mean, hopefully Joey didn't use up too much to try to get around him right there. And we'll see what happens right here. But Joey Beck leading this bad boy.
I think the 93 is definitely hanging on with the help of the draft, but he's doing a fantastic job because he manages tires better than Alex Huffman in the number 2, who's already starting to fall off. And like you said, the 93 doing a fantastic job of, once Joey Beck got around him, he's not letting go. I know this is only the second lap with the 24 in the lead, but the number 93 doing really good on those older tires out there, hanging with our leader. And I think what we're going to see maybe right here, yeah, I think we're going to see it. We're going to see a good run come out of the 24 going down the back straightaway. And I feel, Jake, if he's able to get one of these high side runs going on, maybe out of 1 and 2, he might be able to put enough distance between himself and Brandon that the draft no longer has big of an effect.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that. I mean, he's trying to pull away. As you see, he is kind of starting to sneak away just a little bit. But, you know, Brandon might have been sitting there thinking that, you know, Joey's been coming through the field really, really fast as we got a lap car coming around him. That's the 36 car trying to come around him. He must have went in and got him some fresher tires to come around. But, you know, Brandon might be sitting there, you know, just letting him go. Granted, you know, he's on older tires than Joey, but he's wanting Joey to go ahead and go on as, whoa, lap car looked like he kind of got loose right there in front of the leaders. So, but yeah, I mean, Brandon probably just trying to let him go, knowing that he went through the field really fast. So thinking maybe he's burned his tires up trying to get up through there.
That's the 36 of Todd Robbins out there. Now, the 36 is on some brand new fresh tires. He's 7 laps down and just need him to be respectful out on the racetrack. He's trying to go up there and get one of his laps back in the 36, which he's totally allowed to do. Just got to make it nice and clean to not affect the race that's going on. And I think this is a perfect example to show what tires can really do, because Todd Robbins, in terms of fast lap, is significantly off of the pace compared to our leaders, but look at this. It's like he just sails right by like it's not even an issue out there. 36 drives around, gets one of his laps back. Now only 6 laps down is Todd Robbins in that green number 36. And while things have calmed down just a little bit, I know we've got some viewers out there watching this Fast Friday at Chicagoland, and want to let everybody know of a super cool event that was just announced earlier today on Maconi Entertainment, and that is the 880,000 yards of bricks that will be taking place May 21st at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you're curious about signing up for this, take out your phone, scan that QR code right there that you see on the screen. It'll take you to the event sign up. If you're on your PC, go to MaconiSetupShop.com/event signups. Find out more info there. And here's a little bit more for you. The breakdown, $10 entry fee, but if you make it into that feature, you're gonna get paid out no matter what, with the winner taking home $150, second 100, third place $75. So if you stand on that podium, you're looking at a fantastic day. And once again, if you're curious, go on over to MaconiSetupShop.com/event-signups and sign up. Come on out here and race with us.
Yeah, and we would love to have you out here racing in that race. That's a very, very special race to see right there. I don't know if I'm going to be attending or I might be announcing. I don't know which one I'm going to be at that one right now, Joey. That remains to be seen, but very, very awesome. Wow, awesome. Whoa, 93 Brandon trying to get in pit road. Big moves right there trying to get in pit road. They saved them. I don't know. They might have got a speeding penalty going in right there, going into pits, Joey.
Now, I don't know how iRacing, I should know this by now, but I don't know how iRacing rules that, because he definitely annihilated the pit entry commitment cone. Now, I know in real life racing, where kind of my background is, that is a penalty. You got to be inside of that area, so I'm curious to see how iRacing will in fact score that. I see a black flag for the number 94 Kevin Ritchie, as well as the 17 of Michael Deitch out there. And Michael, a few laps down, but Kevin Ritchie, I'm looking for him. Kevin is now 1 lap down, so both of those penalties definitely affecting some of the competitors out there.
Yeah, and it's affecting possibly with Joey Beck leading this thing, not having to worry about the 93 of Brandon trying to race him, I guess you could say, and not have to worry about him. But, you know, Jeffrey Maconi running second, just holding on to the best that he can. But, yeah, I mean, them penalties are really going to play real hard, I guess you could say, with some of these guys and who they're racing and when they're trying to race and all those nice things. So, I mean, yeah, them penalties are going to throw them off, Joey.
Jeff Maconi trying to fend off John Flowers still. I'm looking at these stint lengths here, and our leader, Joey Beck, as well as Jeff Maconi here. I think Jeff's actually a little bit further along on his stint, but Joey was about 15, 17 laps shy of the leaders he was racing around. Now I look at the laps to go, 15 laps to go. Jake, do you think the 24 is good on fuel? Do you think he's made his stop and he doesn't have to come down pit road anymore? Maybe, does the 24 still have to come down? I don't know.
I think he may have to slide down and get him 4 fresh tires, in my personal opinion. I mean, I don't know if you can run that many laps on a tank of gas, or much less on the tires, as fast as he was going up through there. I know he was on fresher tires than Brandon and the other guys, and Kevin Ritchie, all them guys that was up front. But, I mean, fresh tires is king here, so we'll see what happens. But, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, anything's possible. But I think Joey will be coming in right here in a little bit. I don't think he can make it all the way. That's just me, though.
So we're going to put our cards down on the table right here. I am saying Joey Beck, our leader in the 24, is good on fuel. I think he made the perfect pit strategy call, and he's going to be okay. I think Jeff Maconi here in the 03, as well as John Flowers, who's battling him, riding on board with Brandon, who's actually trying to move through the field, get his lap back. But I think that the red car, as well as the 03, do have to come down to pit road. I don't think they're good on fuel. Now you look, I know that tires are king out here, but Jake, remember, it was Alex Huffman in the number 2, as well as Brandon in the number 93. Those were our leaders battling with Joey Beck. They're still a full lap down to our leader with only 12 laps to go. They'd have to get their lap back, plus come back around and race him.
Yeah, I mean, they are 1 lap down, like you said. They're going to do all they can to try. I mean, they're on full send mode right now.
Yeah.
They're doing all they possibly can to try to get up there, to try to catch Joey Beck, at least pass him twice if they want to try to win this bad boy. I don't know, though. I mean, Joey, I think he's got a pit, honestly. I mean, you know, you got your opinion, I got mine, but I think he's going to have to pit. I think what he's doing, he's waiting on some kind of late race magic of a caution. That way he's going to be able to go straight down pit road and not have to worry about nothing. Now, we can't see what they're seeing. We're just going by what we think and what we feel. So I think he's waiting on that caution.
Well, in the famous words of Dodgeball, that's a bold strategy. Let's see if it pays off for him to bank on a late race yellow when you just don't know when it's going to happen. But trust me, I've seen crazier things happen out there. And yeah, in fact, I'm getting a little birdie in my ear. I know that Jeff Maconi is kind of locked into a battle right now, but I'm curious. You know, let's drag Jeff in here into the booth. Let's see if this number 03 is good on fuel. I know he's locked in a battle with Jeff. You not
No.
good? You good?
No, I'm not. I'm like 4 laps short. I think the leader might be short as well, but I'm just praying for a caution. I feel so bad. I've been holding up this 62. He's so much faster than me, but he won't move to the top and move me out of the way, so I'm taking advantage.
Well, Jeff, thank you for the insider knowledge. We'll let you get back to the battle. It's 8 laps to go. Good luck out there.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, the 03 not good on fuel, as you just heard from the driver, which means the 62 right behind him definitely not good on fuel either, because I'm seeing he's further back in terms of his pit strategy. But Jeff said he's 4 laps short. Jake, I'm looking at the difference between our leader and Jeff. 5 laps between the difference.
Yeah, but as fast as he was moving up through there, that's burning a lot more fuel than what you would think. So I don't know, Joey. I mean, we might can make a side bet on it right now, but I think Joey Beck is waiting on that caution. I really do. I really think he's waiting on that caution. I don't think he's going to be able to make it.
Well, and we're working 7 laps to go, and I'm looking through the field here, and I'm looking at a couple names that we actually haven't mentioned at all. One of them is in 3rd place right now. The number 34, Chester, out here. He's doing a fantastic job, up 16 positions. Started way back there in the 22nd spot, you see, and he's come way up the field. And actually, look at this car. This is an incredibly clean car. I don't see any damage on Chester's number 34. Good race right here to get up into the podium spots. And I'm looking, he's actually 4 laps to the good on fuel compared to our leader.
Oh, man, and that's going to be a real game changer. But you just sit there and talked about how many spots he's been up. The whole top 6. I mean, if you look, I mean, the 5th place guy, Charles, he started 15th. And everybody that's been in the top 6, they pretty much moved up so many spots. I mean, all of them was starting way back in the back. So that first wreck that we had, Joey, I think that helped a lot to try to get these guys to be able to move up. And that took out a bunch of cars so they could move up. So they're showing it doesn't really matter where you start at in this race. They're just moving, as we see right there. Look like Shannon, looks like he was the 25 car was going in pit road, so he's not going to be able to make it. But they're showing it doesn't really matter where you start, it's just where you finish.
I've got my camera on Jeff Maconi out here. I'm curious to see, is he going to come to pit road? Is he going to come to pit road? No, I think he is just really big on the fuel save right now. He's got about 2 seconds between himself and Chester right behind him. But I tell you what, Chester in that number 34 is coming fast. He's now 1.5 seconds behind Jeff Maconi in the 34. You can almost visually see the 34 closing in on the 03 as we look at Joey Beck cross the line. 2 more laps remaining. Does the number 24 have enough fuel in the tank?
I think he may prove me
03
wrong.
on pit road. Jeff Maconi just hit pit road.
Oh, man, Jeff, there it is going in right there. We knew he was going to be short. He called it right here on the broadcast that he was going to be short, Joey. And that's very unfortunate. See, right here at the end, you know, he's not going to be able to make it, but Joey Beck coming to the white flag, he may have enough. He might prove me wrong right here.
Well, look at this. Got his nose a little dirty early on, but fantastic racing ever since he cleaned himself out of the mess. Worked his way through the field. From what I see, performed an excellent strategy out there on the racetrack. Was one of the first cars on the freshest tires with enough gas to make it. And out of turn number 4 comes Joey Beck. He will win Fast Fridays at Chicagoland Speedway.
Great drive right there by Joey Beck to be able to pull that off. He proved me wrong. I thought he was going to be a little bit short as well, but I don't know if he's going to have enough fuel to do the burnout. But very outstanding drive right there by Joey Beck. As you see the 93, going to give him a little love tap, tell him good race. So awesome run by that 24 Joey Beck to be able to pull this win off tonight.
Well, and Brandon in that 93, remember, I think that Brandon was potentially one of the fastest cars. He was there leading some laps, and just the pit stop strategy did not work out for the 93, but the 24 had it from the beginning. Just read those early yellow flags perfectly, came in here, performed the perfect pit stop, took the tires when he needs to, and guess what? Those tires, they may be used up, but they produce some good donut smoke.
Yeah, absolutely great donut smoke. I love donuts, and it's awesome to see it on iRacing. It's better to see it in front of you, but awesome, or real donuts that would be. But love seeing them iRacing donuts. A lot of any donut in particular, racing. Just awesome to see, and well deserved for Joey Beck to be able to pull this win off tonight. He ought to be able to burn it down all night.
We're going to take a quick break, be right back with post-race interviews and your official results here at Fast Friday.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
There is a reason that Maconi Setup Shop is partnered with more real-world tracks and companies, including Junior Motorsports, than any other group on the iRacing service.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Well, for those who missed it, this was the beginning of Fast Fridays coming off of turn number 4 at Chicagoland, and it ultimately ended up with the 24 of Joey Beck taking home the checkered flag at the end of it all. Our winner out there, followed by the number 34 of Chester Kuklewicz out here in second. Hewling-Hauser third. Alex Huffman comes home fourth. Brandon Masajewski here in fifth. Jeff Maconi, late race strategy, ends up 1 lap down in sixth place. Leon Keniston, seventh. Jacob Cannon, Larry Garrett, and John Flowers rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, and then you're coming home with 11th right here is Charles Backman and Shane Matthews coming home in 12th. Jordan Higgins, 13th. Shannon Boswell, one of those guys that had to make that pit stop as well. He come home in 14th. Jeffrey Eddy in 15th. Kevin Ritchie, one of the guys that was running up front, racing for the lead, gonna come home in 16th, 2 laps down. And Todd Robbins, you saw him on the screen earlier in 36. He's gonna come home 17th. And some of these other guys just got caught up in some wrecks and got caught up in some instances. And the one that I really want to call off, the 5 car, Joshua Fireball Colbreth. I had to call that name out just because of the fireball in the middle of it. But all these guys right here that you're seeing on the screen got more or less caught up in that very first wreck.
Yeah, I think I see 32 cars officially were on the racetrack at least at one point here at Fast Friday. But several of them definitely had some problems after turn number 4 on the first lap. But one car that didn't is our winner, Joey Beck. Congratulations, Joey. I got to say, it's a fantastic name that I share with you, but taking home the chicken dinner here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even expect this at all. I came in here and just have fun. I will like to say I apologize to that 22 car. I just misjudged it big time, and I don't want to race like that. And I decided to pit, and I just took a gamble, and we had so many cautions. I was just like, you know what, I'm going to pit. And for some reason, those fresh tires hauled the mail through there. I mean, I didn't expect myself to be that quick. I mean, I just drove right through the field.
Well, and Joey, I'm really happy that you started off with that, because From the commentary booth, we noticed a change in the driving style from when you got into that wreck initially compared to how you drove through the field. And when you came through the field, you were very respectful in your racing. You weren't putting your nose anywhere aggressive like that. So props to you. We definitely noticed a change after you yourself raised your hand, like you said right there. And ultimately, it ends up with you in victory lane here. And how does it feel? You said you weren't expecting it all. You gratified? You happy?
I'm thrilled. I mean, I know these drivers are pretty good, and I'm just 13 years old, just I'm living the dream right now.
Well, now, Joey, I got to ask you, because you just won Fast Friday. I'm not sure if you follow the Maconi social media channels at all, but they just announced a 500-miler in the IR01 open wheel cars at Indianapolis on May 21st. Does that pique your interest at all?
I'm starting to think about it now. I think it's a $10 entry. I might think about running that. This is really fun.
Yeah, $10 entry, and if you make the show, you automatically get paid out. And not only that, Joey, but you've shown that you can win here. If you take home the win there at Indianapolis, $150 straight to you.
Well, I'm going to try to chase that next. I mean...
Well, Joey, before I let you go, is there anybody that you want to say hi to?
I want to say hi to Keegan Sobilo. He's one of my best buds out there. He's a really good racer on here. You guys should check him out. He's really good.
Well, and actually, hey, Joey, I'm just getting word from behind the scenes. Jeff Maconi is listening to you right now. If you are interested in entering that 880,000 yards of bricks, your Fast Friday checkered flag buys your entry. Free ticket over there if you want to come and race.
Well, then I'm racing. That sounds like a lot of fun.
There we go. We got an entry. Joey Beck, we're going to see you May 21st. Congratulations once again on the race win tonight.
Thank you, everybody.
Well, that was your race winner. Let's bring Jeff Maconi into the booth here, because I know Jeff had one heck of a race. Jake, you're standing by with the boss man.
Boss man, it was a heck of a race out there from basically start to finish. I guess you could say all the way from lap 1 all the way to lap 65. Tell us about your run tonight.
Wow, it was insane. I got caught up in the lap 1 wreck, took some front end damage, and I knew the right front was destroyed in that Chicagoland. That is horrible. To have any sort of aero damage on the car, it'll kill you. So my strategy then was just take tires as often as I could. And the one time I didn't take tires because I didn't want to lose track position was the most important pit stop of the race. So that was fun. And I was like running out of fuel. No way to for me to save enough to make it to the end by the time I realized and decided that we were going to go green to the end. So it was fun. I'm very happy with the top 10 given how destroyed the car was. I was hoping we would catch a caution at a really opportune time, but didn't come together. But it was so much fun. I got to thank everyone at Maconi Setup Shop, you guys here at Maconi Entertainment, Maconi Competitive Zone, Victory Sim for this awesome rig. It makes even like the worst nights like this where everything just goes wrong so much fun. The Sim Racer movie, a Bruzy Racewear. They keep me comfortable, looking good. We're getting some new shirts here soon, so stay tuned for that. We'll do giveaways. Plus, I got the boots and gloves. WSMN, broadcasting, everyone involved. Ron the Snack Guy, just massive thanks to everyone that makes this possible and gets me excited for the 880,000 yards of bricks.
No follow-up to that right there. That's how you do an interview right there. So congratulations, Jeff, on being able to survive the wreck at the first part of the race and come home with a nice top 10.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Have a good night. Thank you guys for the great work, and we'll see you at the next Fast Fridays.
Appreciate you, Jeff. Joey?
Absolutely.
Well, that was Jeff Maconi, driver of the 03, and that's going to do it here for tonight. We want to thank tonight's race sponsor, Maconi Setup Shop, as well as our broadcast partner, Maconi Competitive Zone. Calling the action tonight was myself, Joey Atterbury, alongside Jake Reeves here in the booth, and the bearded sim racer Ryan Bauer producing. As always, we would like to thank all of our viewers for tuning in for tonight's racing action and hope you stay tuned to all of our social media pages for our next Fast Friday event. Special shout out, of course, goes to the staff, and this has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We wish you all a good Friday night.